Jody Viano, and this is A Cup of Joe. As a 50-something, multi-passionate woman, mom, author, and professional psychic, I have a lot to say about a lot of things. I may not have all the answers, or even half of the answers, but I can offer a perspective and maybe some insight that will help you along your way, or at the very least, entertain you. Hi friends, welcome back to A Cup of Joe. I'm Joe, your hostess with the mostest. Welcome to October. Wasn't it just February 5 minutes ago? This year has flown by. It's been quite an impactful year for me. But even if it hasn't been impactful, I'm pretty sure it's flown by for all of us. So yeah, welcome to October. Welcome, welcome. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That is the reason why this year has been impactful for me. I was diagnosed with having breast cancer in April of this year and had surgery to remove it in May. And so a lot of my year has been spent crying and recovering and all those kinds of things. I feel great. I felt great all along. Mammograms save lives, people. So get your mammogram. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Early detection saves lives. And also, there is an increasing number of men receiving breast cancer diagnoses. So, do your self checks. If anything feels different or not right, you know your body. So go, if you find something, go to your doctor, get it looked at just to be safe. So, yeah, that's October. This is also a huge month for me personally because on October 10th, my first book will be officially released. I am so excited. It is called Late Bloomer. It took me 4 years to write this book. I went through open heart surgery, uh, weathered the pandemic, and all the mental stuff that goes along with that. And I finally finished it in March of this year, just before I received my diagnosis, actually. And its official release is October 10th. So that's a Tuesday. And that episode of the podcast, which will be the next episode, I am going to be talking about my book for the entire episode. So, that's either encouragement to listen or a deterrent. Consider yourselves warned. I'll be reading different excerpts from my book. I'm just going to delight and honor this massive achievement in my life. And I'm not going to apologize for it. If you want to do the same for something in your life, start your own podcast, damn it. So that's what I'll be doing on our next episode. That will be episode 4. Today is episode 3. And I don't know what I'm going to title this episode yet, but I want to talk about the difference between, I want to talk about ghosts. And in my practice, as you all know, I am a psychic. I am a professional psychic. I'm international. I have clients all over the world. And in my life, be it professional or personal, I refer to my guides, angels, passed on loved ones, whatever. I refer to them all as spirit, capital S, spirit. That's just my catch-all word for beings on the other side. So I've often had conversations with people, with friends, and I've spent a lot of time thinking about this myself, about what is the difference to me between ghosts and spirit. My daughter and I, we both love watching ghost hunting shows. Uh, we're big fans of Sam and Colby on YouTube. They are just the cutest young men. I adore them. They crack me up. And so we watch their videos all the time. And we also love ghost hunters. I have been watching ghost hunters on TV since they first started. Um, I'm very loyal to them. I really love the way they approach the spirit world and debunking things. I love that they are a mix of science and belief, I guess spiritual without being spiritual. Um and so I thought, since it's October, which is, stereotypically a spooky month, I thought I would do this episode and talk about what is a ghost to me. And everybody, I think, is going to have their own varying opinions. I think for the most part it'll be pretty close. But just as the fine print here, this is my opinion. If you don't agree with it, that's perfectly okay. You don't have to. This is my opinion. So, do I believe in ghosts? Yes, I absolutely believe in ghosts. There's not much that I don't believe in. Um, so just put that out there. I absolutely believe in ghosts. What Second question, I'm checking my notes here. What to me is the difference between ghosts and spirit, capital S, spirit? So I touched on this a little, but to me, spirit is um, a catch-all word that I use when I am referring to passed on loved ones, spirit guides, planetary beings, angels, elemental beings, basically those entities that I communicate with on a daily basis. So in my work and in my personal practice, I do have my own personal practice, whether it's prayer, meditation, checking in with spirit, whatever. I do communicate with them all the time. So I refer to that group of beings as spirit, capital S. To me, um ghosts to me are a couple of different things. They can be the result of a lot of intense energy and emotion that maybe happened in a certain area or building or whatever, that are created from that intensity. Or they are residual energy that has imprinted itself on a building, on a place, that just plays on a loop. So let's talk about that a little bit more. If you watch any ghost hunting shows, they frequent places that have had a lot of trauma or a lot of intense emotions. of any kind, fear or anger or despair or sadness. Um, and it's my belief that when there is enough of that sort of really intense emotion, that collective energy can create its own beings. It can create its own energy, i.e., ghosts, spirits, whatever you want to call them. So when these ghost hunting shows visit, uh, old jails or insane asylums or hospitals or whatever, these are places that are associated with a lot of really intense emotion. And I believe that those emotions, in and of themselves, create ghosts, create the energetic beings that make the noises, that, interact with whomever is there. There's also imprinting on, a place, a time, whatever. So, geographic locations where maybe battles have been fought. A lot of times, like in these American shows, they go to places where the Civil War was fought, and they can hear. There's reports of hearing, cannons and horses and men and all of these things. Those are imprinted on the energy of that space. So, to break it down even further, there are intelligent energies and residual energies. Intelligent, no, we'll start with residual. Residual energies are are like the imprint that I was speaking of. Residual energies don't know that you are there. They won't engage with you. They don't respond to your questions or your communicating. They just carry on a loop. It's as though they're on a tape recorder and it just keeps playing over and over and over on a loop. So residual energies are considered not intelligent because they can't and don't respond or interact with, whoever's investigating them or whoever lives there or whatever. So maybe you live in a house that someone lived in. Maybe someone's grandma, they built this house and she lived there and raised her family and, you know, died in the house. Maybe she spent the majority of her life in this house and she had her routines, opening the cupboard, flick on the light switch, blah, 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 blah. So maybe you suddenly move into this house and, you're sitting there watching TV and you hear footsteps in the kitchen and suddenly a cupboard door opens or the lights flick on or off. But when you try to communicate with whatever's making this noise, you don't get any responses. And this is something that just happens regularly. Even though that's unnerving and probably scares the crap out of you, that is residual energy. That's just an imprint that this woman's energy has made on that space. Oh, I have to sneeze. Oh my goodness, excuse me. So like I said, that can be very unnerving. Of course it's unnerving if you're sitting there and all of a sudden the cupboard door in your kitchen opens or the lights flick on or off. Yeah, that would scare the heck out of anyone. But it's just a tape recorder, an energetic tape recorder in time that is just playing over and over. Now, for intelligent spirits, ghosts, those are the ones that do respond to questions, to uh, maybe trigger objects that are brought into the space. Those are the ones that I believe are created from these intense emotions or happenings in a certain space. So those are the ones that, if you're watching these ghost hunting shows and they're like, can you knock once if you hear me? Or maybe they have, their scientific equipment there, make this light up if you can hear us. And when they respond to questions like that or direction, those are intelligent energies. Those are ones that can see you and they can interact with you. Also, it's pretty freaky. But here's another thing, and here's the thing that always frustrates me when I watch ghost hunting shows is that, and I get it that it's sensationalized and it's for views and all of that. But, a lot of these intelligent spirits, they could be just someone's passed on loved one who is very happy and content on the other side, but they see an opportunity to communicate with someone here on earth and they're like, hell yeah, I want to say hi to these people. It's been a while since I talked to someone. But that possibility is rarely, if ever, mentioned. And I always say to my daughter, like, I want to see a ghost hunting show that has that element to it. And a lot of these shows, what's the one with Zach Bagans? Ghost Adventures, I think. I used to love that show, but I stopped watching it because he's all about like negative negative entities, negative spirits. He's all about demons and dark stuff. And I just, that's not my jam? Sorry, I need a sip of water. And yes, dark energies exist, but like they're not as prevalent as a lot of these shows or videos would have us believe. And so quite often, they'll be like, are you stuck? Do you need help? Do you need help crossing over? Like, first of all, I don't believe that anyone needs help crossing over. A- In all my years of being a medium and doing readings for clients, not once have I ever come across someone who didn't automatically go to the other side. We are at our very essence divine light and love. We are originating from source energy. And so why would a low vibrational human be needed to help a high vibrational divine energy cross over? I mean, that is such a human thing to believe. Like, that is such a human thing to believe. It's so presumptuous. Like, humans are so low vibrational compared to spirit that to believe for 1 minute that spirit needs a quote lowly human to help them cross over is like the audacity, honestly. But I digress. Again, that's my personal opinion and my professional experience. I know there are a lot of people who like to think that they have helped spirit crossover. And you know what? If that helps them sleep better at night, hair on them. Um, but that's always my frustration with so many ghost hunting shows is they never consider that these responses or these entities that they're communicating with are maybe just somebody's great grandma, who's popping in to say, "Hey." And that just, oh, that frustrates me. And if I ever had an opportunity to create my own ghost hunting show, I would absolutely bring that element into it and be like, you know what? Like, and I do understand, it's entertainment. We're sensationalizing this because that's what gets the views, right? But for a lot of these people, maybe they're living or working in a space where there's a lot of activity and it scares the crap out of them. So why not just acknowledge the possibility that, you know what, this this is just someone who's passed on who's saying, "Hey," like that's just something that always irks me and frustrates me. Like I wish that was introduced more. Um, that's all I have to say about that. And I will say, Sam and Colby on YouTube, they're they're young. Their audience is primarily young. They love the sensational, the scary, the dark, that kind of thing because that gets views. I mean, I'm not stupid, but they are as it goes on being more and more receptive and open to the fact that, you know what, like, it's not just either you're good or you're bad. It's not these energies are either demonic or not. It's they're just energy. And a lot of times it can be just someone's passed on loved one who's just saying hi. And even though it can be unnerving, it's not scary when you think about it. Like, would you be scared? I mean, like I said, of course it's unnerving, but like what if your great grandma or your grandma, just was trying to get your attention and wanting to say hi to you. Like once you realize that and that that's a possibility, that takes that fear away from it. So anyways, that's what I have to say about that. Oh, and I will say, comparing the two shows, um Ghost Hunters, they are all about taking the fear away from these quote hauntings, um, to give the people who live or work in these places more peace of mind. So I do appreciate that. And I like that they do that. And they take a more science based approach to their ghost hunting. And it's fun. It's fun. I mean, we all love watching and hearing about ghost stories, right? Like especially at this time of year when we're building up to s- you know Halloween and Samhain, and the veil between worlds is thinner. And so now's the time when everyone can communicate or experience those who are on the other side a little bit easier. But that's what I wanted to talk about in this episode is the difference between ghosts and what I refer to as spirit. Is this something that honestly I have spent a lot of time thinking about because for a long time, like, how do I didn't know how I distinguished between the two in my own mind, and um how, like, I didn't know. I just didn't have the, I guess, the words or whatever. I don't know what exactly. Because like I said, I've always been fascinated with ghost hunting and ghost stories and all that kind of stuff. And that freaks me out. Like, if I like I kind of want to go on a ghost hunt, but also it would scare the hell out of me. And I am a professional psychic and medium, so it shouldn't scare me at all. But the thought of seeing a ghost or being touched by one or hearing noises or knocks or whatever, that literally scares the crap out of me. Like, that's a big no for me. I have had a couple of my own experiences and they have scared the crap out of me to the point where, like I was talking about last episode, I have actually asked for my ability to see spirit with my physical eyes to be taken away because it just scares the hell out of me. And it's a wasted opportunity because if I turn around and there's something or someone standing in my kitchen, it's going to scare the crap out of me. And I'm going to be too startled to gather myself in time to engage with this being. So it's a wasted opportunity for them. So yeah, I will talk about my experiences probably in not the next episode, but the episode after that. I've been asking for my listeners or viewers to send me your ghost stories. And listen, why aren't you guys sharing them with me? I've had one beautiful person send me some of her experiences that she has had in her house. So you guys are holding out on me, and I don't know why. Just share your damn stories with me. Um, you can message them to me on Facebook or Instagram at spiritualcoffee.ca. You can email them to me at a cup of joe podcast at outlook.com. You can email them to me at spiritualcoffee at outlook.com. Carry or pigeon them to me. Do whatever, but share them with me. I want to know. I'll keep them anonymous if you like. But yeah, I will share a couple of my own stories um, later on this month. But that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gives you food for thought. I hope, I think it's such an interesting topic. And like I say, I've always been, so fascinated with ghost stories and whatnot, even though it does scare the bejeebers out of me. I think it's really cool. So, any comments you want to add, you can even comment on the podcast or on the YouTube video. Share your story down below or tell me what you think what the difference between spirit and ghosts are. What's your favorite ghost hunting show or YouTube channel or whatever? I would love to hear it. Let me know. I'm always up for checking out a new video, a new YouTube channel, a new TV show, whatever. Um, that's all I have. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing and liking and subscribing. That just means the world to me. Next week, it's book release day. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Stay tuned for all things book related next week. I will talk to you soon. Love you, K. Bye. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check out my website at spiritualcoffee.ca, and you can also find me on Instagram and Facebook. To send me questions or topics you'd like me to feature, email me at acupofjoepodcast@outlook.com.